Deep within you, my friends, lies a very, very dormant power waiting to be activated through ancient science of the elements or tattvas. We are going to use the five natural forces to dissolve energetic blockages and turn your daily routine into a bridge to the divine. This is how you master your internal frequency. Now, have you ever noticed that some days you feel heavy, dull, and emotionally stuck? And other days you feel very, very light, very clear, steady, and very, very deeply alive. Now, most people think that this is random. Now, they blame sleep, mood, stress, or luck, and yes, those things do matter. But there is also another way to understand what is happening inside of you all. Ancient wisdom traditions like Sanatana or Hindu religion observed that both the universe and the human being are made up of five elemental forces: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Not just as physical substances, but as qualities of energy, feeling, movement, balance, and awareness. Earth gives structure, water gives flow, fire gives transformation, air gives movement, and space gives openness. When these elements are balanced, we feel natural, we feel centered, alive, inwardly connected. When they are disturbed, we often feel anxious, drained, emotionally overloaded, mentally foggy, or spiritually disconnected. The beautiful thing is this: balancing them does not require a mountain cave, a complicated spiritual system, or hours and hours and hours of practice every day. It can begin in the simplest of ways. Ways through which the way you wake up, breathe, walk, drink water, sit in silence, and more through your day. So, my friends, in this video, I want to show you a simple, practical, deeply meaningful way to work with the five elements of nature to balance your energetic body daily. Let us begin with the foundation. Before we talk about the practices, we need to understand one simple idea: that you are not separate from nature. Your body is not some isolated machine. It is a living part of the same intelligence that moves the wind, shapes the mountains, carries the rivers, and lights up the sun as well. And these five elements are not somewhere outside of you. They are already expressing themselves within you every single day. Earth is in your bones, your muscles, your tissues, your habits, and your sense of stability. Water is in your blood, your emotions, your adaptability, and the ability to connect. Fire is in digestion, motivation, clarity, will, and transformation. Air is in the breath, thoughts, circulation, movement, and inspiration. And then the space is in the mind's openness, the pauses between thoughts, the ability to listen, and the inner room that allows life to unfold. So, when your life feels out of balance, often what is really happening is that one or more of these elements is becoming either excessive or weak or blocked or neglected. For example, too little earth may show up in restlessness, anxiety, lack of routine, and feeling ungrounded. Too much earth element may feel like heaviness, laziness, resistance, or emotional dullness. Too little water may show up as dryness in emotion, difficulty feeling, connecting, softening. Too much water may feel like emotional overwhelm, attachments, moodiness, and lack of boundaries. Too little fire may feel like low energy, poor motivation, confusion, sluggish digestion as well. Not just of food, but of life itself. Too much fire may become irritation, frustration, impatience, or burning yourself out. Too little air may show up as dullness, lack of inspiration, or emotional stagnation as well. Too much air can feel overthinking, nervousness, scattered focus, and inner stability too. Too little space may feel like mental crowding, claustrophobia of your own life, or no room to breathe inside yourselves. Too much space without grounding may feel disassociated, floaty, disconnected from the grounding of the ordinary life. Now, think about the modern lifestyle. Too much screen time, too little natural rhythm, too much mental stimulation, too little silence, too much sitting indoors, too little contact with sunlight, fresh air, too little contact with real food, clean water, and the living earth as well for that matter. Now, no wonder so many people feel energetically scattered. The problem is not only stress, the problem is elemental or tattvic imbalance. This perspective is very powerful because it changes how you see yourself. Instead of thinking something is wrong with me, you begin to ask, which element in me needs more support and more awareness right now? That question is softer, smarter, more compassionate. Your body is not your enemy. Your emotions are not random. Your fatigue is not always failure. Often your system is simply asking to come back into right relationship with nature. And once you start listening in that way, listening to yourself in that way, daily life becomes a healing practice. Now let us move into the first two elements that help create a strong foundation: earth and water. Let's give you a few rituals about earth and water for stability and flow. If you are spiritually curious but emotionally tired, mentally overloaded, or inconsistent in practice, begin with earth and water. Why? Because before energy can rise beautifully, the vessel must be stable. Before clarity deepens, the body and heart need to feel safe, supported, and nourished. Earth, the end element of stability. Earth is the principle of grounding, weight, form, and steadiness. When Earth Tattva is balanced, you feel rooted. You keep your word to yourselves. You are present in your body. You are less easily shaken by external noise. When Earth is weak, you may feel unstructured. Your spiritual practices may remain ideas rather than living habits. You may feel inspired one day and lost the next day. So how do we build earth element and balance the earth element on a daily basis? When you wake up, do not immediately reach for your phone. Sit up slowly, place your feet on the floor, feel the contact, feel the support of the ground beneath you. Even this tiny little act begins to teach the nervous system, I'm here. I am held. Then, if possible, step outside for even 2 to 5 minutes. Stand on the earth, a balcony, a terrace, or even near a plant, if that is only what you have. Let your senses meet something real before they meet the digital world. You can also develop earth element and balance this earth element through a routine. Going to sleep around the same time, waking up at a regular time, eating simple, nourishing food, keeping your space clean, and finishing what you begin. Now, many people want spiritual elevation, but they resist ordinary stability. Yet, stability is not boring. Stability, my friends, is very, very sacred. It gives your inner life a place to land. A simple earth practice is walking slowly and consciously for 5 minutes in the morning. No music, no scrolling, no disturbances, no rushing. Just feel the steps. Let the weight of the body settle downward. Let your awareness drop from the head into the legs and the feet. This is not just exercise. It is energetic recognition. Let's talk about the second element now. The element of flow. Once the system is grounded, it needs softness. That is where water comes in. Water, my friends, is emotion. It's adaptability. It's cleansing. It's about receptivity. It's about flow. Many people today are either emotionally completely frozen or emotionally completely and totally flooded. Water helps restore healthy movement. A very practical morning water ritual is this. Drink a glass of room temperature water slowly and consciously. Not while walking around distracted by your phone and things like that. Not while checking messages. Drink that early morning first glass of water. Drink it with awareness. As you drink, you may think, may this cleanse what has become stagnant in me. May this help me live my life and move again. You don't have to believe in anything dramatic. Simple intention changes the quality of attention, and attention changes the experience itself. Water can also be balanced through bathing with awareness. Most of us shower mechanically, but what happens if for 1 minute in your shower, you stand under the water and imagine that the emotional residue of yesterday is being washed away. Tensions, frustrations, unspoken sadness, inner stickiness. Let the water remind the body that nothing has to remain frozen or stagnant forever. Emotionally, my friends, water teaches us not to cling. Not every feeling needs to stay as a story. Sometimes it only needs movement. If you feel stuck, journal for 5 minutes without editing yourself. If tears arise, let them arise. If there is irritation, name it honestly. Water becomes toxic when it's trapped. It becomes healing when it flows. I'll give you a simple morning foundation now. So here is a very, very simple morning routine for earth and water. Wake up slowly. Place your feet on the ground consciously. Drink water with awareness. Step outside or stand near a natural light. Take a slow, grounded walk for a few minutes and let your morning begin with contact, not consumption. This is how you prepare the vessel, not with force, but with steadiness and with flow. Once the lower foundation is very well supported, then the next two elements help bring movement and transformation: fire and air. The alchemy of fire and air. Now, if earth and water help you feel stable and fluid, fire and air help you feel alive. These are the elements that changes things. They move stagnation, they awaken intention, they bring energy into motion. But they must be handled wisely. Too little and you feel dull. Too much and you burn yourself out. So let's talk about fire, the power of transformation that fire brings to us. Fire is heat, fire is digestion, fire is willpower, fire is courage, fire is light, and fire is transformation. This is not only physical digestion of the food that you have eaten. Fire also digests all experiences, all emotions, all lessons, and all impressions of your experiences. When fire element or Agni Tattva is healthy, you feel clear and purposeful. You can act, you can decide, you can transform friction into growth. When the fire is low, even smallest little tasks will feel heavy. When fire is excessive, you may become reactive, intense, impatient, or constantly on at all points of time. One of the simplest ways to awaken balanced fire is through breath and through posture. Sit upright. Lift the chest gently. Do not collapse. Your posture affects your energy more than you think. A collapsed posture often feeds heaviness. An upright posture invites alertness and awareness. Now take 10 steady breaths through the nose. Slightly deepen the inhale and make the exhale smooth and complete. This is not aggressive breath work kind of breathing. It's just gentle and aware breathing. Now, as you breathe, imagine you are lighting the inner lamp, not a wildfire, just a clear flame inside of you. A beautiful day's reflection for fire is to ask yourself, what deserves my energy today? And also ask yourself, what am I feeling? What am I feeding that weakens me? Because fire always consumes something. It can consume resentment, it can consume confusion, it can consume even inertia or tamas as we call it. Or it can consume your peace also through your overreactivity, your anger, and this endless chase and this endless urgency. Balanced fire is very disciplined, my friends. It's not very dramatic. You can also nourish fire through morning sunlight, warm, nourishing meals, focused work, and choose one meaningful action each day that you have been avoiding. Transformation is not only mystical, my friends. Sometimes it looks like making that one phone call, speaking the truth, finishing the task, or finally saying no to what drains you. Let's go to the air element now. The power of movement and expansion. Now, if fire burns and transforms, air moves. Air is breath, my friends. Circulation, thoughts, communication, imagination, openness, lightness. When air is healthy, you feel spacious but very deeply connected. Creative but not chaotic. Emotionally lighter, mentally fresher. When air element is way too strong, however, it can create also restlessness, worry, overthinking, scattered attention. So air must be balanced through conscious breathing. One of the easiest practices is this. Inhale gently, hold the breath. Exhale gently, keep the breath out. Do this for exactly 12 breaths. Why is this powerful? Because the longer exhales, signals safety to the body. It helps discharge inner agitation, for that matter. It creates gentle room around thoughts. It improves energetic circulation without overstimulating the system. So let this breath and holding of the breath be very, very gentle in nature. Don't hold for too long as if you're going in a competition of holding breath somewhere. These practices are not about competition even with yourself. How long can I hold this breath inside of me? How long can I hold this breath outside of me? No, it's not about that. Stop this continuous fighting with your own selves and just gently breathe in, hold the breath. And whenever you want to breathe out, feel like breathing out, breathe out and keep the breath out. How long ever possible. Don't compete with yourself. Get out of this competition loop. Try doing this during the day whenever you feel heavy, whenever you feel burdened, whenever you feel, in Trika, as we say, contracted. Pause between these two breaths. Pause. Soften the shoulders. Breathe into the belly. And let the exhale melt some of that tightness that you're holding inside of yourselves. My friends, try to understand this, that you do not need to solve everything immediately. Sometimes your energy only needs room to move. Let's talk about fire and air together. Now here is the alchemy, Fire gives direction, air gives movement. Fire says transform and air says let it circulate. Too much fire without air becomes pressure. Too much air without fire becomes scattered motion. Together, they create inspired action. This is why even a few minutes of conscious breathing in the morning or afternoon or evening can change the whole tone of your day. It awakens the energy without drama. It supports focus without harshness. It helps life to move without burning the system. And when earth, water, fire, air begin to move and find harmony, a deeper element becomes available. The one that holds all the others. Space. Ether, space, is the fifth element, fifth tattva, often called Akasha. The element is very, very subtle, but it is essential. My friends, space is not emptiness in a negative sense. It's openness, capacity, the inner room in which all experience appears. Without space, life feels crowded. Too many thoughts, too many reactions, too much emotional build-up, too much noise inside, too much noise outside. My friends, when space is honored, you begin to feel that not every thought needs to trap you. Not every emotion defines you. Not every sensation demands immediate reaction. My friends, space gives us perspective. It allows the body to soften, the mind to widen, and awareness to become more and more clearer. This is why stillness matters. Not as an escape from life, but as a way of remembering the depth within life. Some traditions speak about moments of inner awakening or grace, moments when something higher seems to touch the ordinary mind and rearrange it. You don't need to have any technical language or some deep rituals for this. Most people have felt it in some kind of form. A moment of silence in nature, a deep exhale after getting tired, a sudden stillness in meditation, a moment when the mind pauses and you feel utterly present. That is the beginning of contact with space, Akasha. And the beautiful thing is that space can be cultivated daily. My friends, sit quietly just for 3 to 5 minutes a day. No need to focus, no need to make the mind blank, no need to force any breath or anything like that. 3 to 5 minutes in a day is all I ask you. Just sit. Let the sounds come, let the sounds go, let the thoughts come, let the thoughts go. Instead of chasing everything endlessly, notice the silent background in which they are appearing. My friends, that background matters. Space, my friends, is also connected to sound. A simple practice is to chant one soft sound, such as Om, or even for that matter hum gently for a few rounds, and then sit in the silence that follows. I generally tell this practice, which is very, very easy. You breathe in, on the exhalation, you start humming, or say the mantra Om. Do that for about 24 times. Just 24 chants. And just after that, sit in the silence that follows. Notice how sound or this Akasha Tattva can prepare you for silence, and how silence gives meaning to sound. This is very important. Inner awakening does not always arrive through this ritual or that ritual or through intensely practicing. Often, most often, it arrives through moments of refinement. Less noise, more listening, less forcing, more allowing. The element of space, my friends, teaches you that your energetic body does not only need stimulation, it also needs and requires room. Room to breathe, room to settle, room to recognize around a deeper, deeper presence that is inside of you. This presence is not created, it's already there. You just need to touch it regularly. So if your life feels too full, too mentally crowded, do not only ask, what should I add? Also ask, where can I create space? Even one quiet minute between activities begins to restore this space or Akasha element. And now, let us bring all 5 together into one simple daily flow. The real power of the five elements, my friends, is not in understanding them all at once. It is about living them consistently. So here is a simple daily rhythm you can actually practice. In the mornings, begin with earth and water. Wake up slowly. Feel the free feet on the ground. Drink your water consciously. Stand in the natural light or step outside just even for about a couple of minutes maybe. And take a slow walk. This gives you a day of stable baseline. Let's go to mid-morning or before work. Awaken the fire and the air. Sit upright for 2 to 5 minutes. Take 12 clear breaths. The 2 pause technique, what I showed you as well, works very, very beautifully out here. Breathing in, pause. Breathing out, pause. 12 clear breaths like that. And then ask yourself, what deserves my energy today? Then take one focused action. One focused action. This prevents your energy from becoming dull or scattered. Now let's go during the day what you can do. Return to water and air whenever stress arises. Whenever stress arises, whenever you feel contracted, drink water slowly. Sip on it. Exhale longer than you inhale for a few breaths. Unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, let your belly soften. Let movement happen through breath before stagnation of an experience hardens onto you. Then the evening, return to earth and space. In the evening, my friends, reduce stimulation. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Let the day settle. If possible, look at the sky, light a candle or a diya, or spend a minute or 5 or 10 in simple silence. This reminds the system that not everything has to be carried into the night and then carried forward next day as well. You drop the baggage of that day right there and then. Now, if you look at this closely, this daily elemental or tattva based rhythm is also an energetic journey. You begin with the density of the earth, you soften through water, you awaken through fire, you move through air, and you open yourself into space. This is not just self-care, it's alignment. And more consistently you practice these easy tips, the more quickly you will begin to notice the signs of awakening inside of you. You will feel steadier. You will feel less reactive, more clear, more emotionally available, less stuck in the mind, and more connected to your life itself. This is what many people are truly seeking, my friends. Not extreme experiences, but balanced way of living in which the body, the heart, the mind, the breath and the awareness begins to cooperate together. And this is why working with the elements is so beautiful. It is simple, but not shallow. Ancient, but completely relevant. Spiritual, but deeply practical as well. Your aura, your mood, your clarity, your energy, all of these are shaped by the quality of your daily relationship with these elements. So don't underestimate these small practices. A conscious glass of water, a few breaths, a pause before reaction, a moment of sunlight, a walk on earth, a few minutes of silence. These things may look ordinary, my friends, but lived consistently, they recognize your inner life. So, my friends, If you want to begin balancing your energetic body daily, start here. Ground with earth, soften with water, refine with fire, open with air, and rest in space. You don't need to perfect all these fives in one day itself, my friends. Begin with one simple ritual and stay with it. Then slowly let others join. One simple ritual. Because the goal is not to become abstractly spiritual. The goal is to become more whole, more balanced, more alive, more deeply in tune with the intelligence that is already moving through you. My friends, nature is not outside of you, it is expressing itself as you. And when you learn to live in harmony with these five forces, your daily life itself becomes a path of balance, healing, and a very gentle and quiet awakening without any dramas. If this video spoke for you, let me know in the comments which element do you feel most connected to right now, and which one do you feel you need more of awareness in your life with. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Matreya Namaha. Enough for today.